All right, let's move on. I'm hearing reports that this week, or as we get closer to June 1, Dalvin Cook's going to be cut. Would you have any interest in Dalvin Cook joining the running back group? So if you could get DeAndre Swift and Dalvin Cook and have those two guys as your running backs, that to me is better than Bijan Robinson, having those two guys. And if he gets cut, you don't have to pay him the money that he's making in Minnesota. I believe they're going to cut him. Would you pay $5 million for that guy? I would. Can you imagine having DeAndre Swift and Dalvin Cook behind Jalen Hurts? Holy shit. And you know what you would do to Jalen Hurts? The production that he would have, instead of 17 carries for 75 yards, it'd be 7 carries for 75 yards. I mean, once you're cut, you think that guy's getting a $10 million contract by somebody out there like the Dolphins? Not happening. You put Dalvin Cook behind Jalen Hurts with DeAndre Swift, you'll have the best running back tandem in the NFL overnight. So then for the first time, you would have elite players at every freaking offensive position on your team. Unbelievable. You'd have the best duo wideouts. You'd have the best tackle tandem. You'd have the best center. You'd have one of the top 5 quarterbacks. And you would have the best duo in the NFL at running back with Dalvin Cook and with DeAndre Swift. How is that not worth the investment? And by the way, when people go like this to me, well, the Eagles don't really put a value on linebacker and running back. Guys, you don't have Patrick Mahomes. The lesser team won the freaking Super Bowl. You need to have elite players to beat that. Look, there's 2 quarterbacks the Eagles have to beat this year that they can't and haven't. It's Dak and Mahomes. The rest of them, I'll take the Eagles against the Bills. I'll take the Eagles against the Niners. I'll take the Eagles against Minnesota. I'll take the Eagles against Seattle. I'm good with that. Dak and Mahomes. Those are the 2 quarterbacks you can't beat. Be elite everywhere. Well, they don't put a premium on linebackers and running backs and safeties. That's funny. That's why premium quarterbacks beat the shit out of you. That's why they beat the crap out of you every time they play you. You're going to run the same system according to Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni. Seattle owns us, actually? Really? Well, I'm all right. I'll take Jalen versus 1 year Geno. I'll take that bet. Geno's had a great renaissance up in Seattle. He totally has. Okay? He's completely had a great year, but I want to see him do it again too as well. We already have 5 running backs. No, you don't. That if you've got 5 running backs, JM, you don't have 1. Last year you had 1. 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. Cut him. Rashad Penny. Cut him. Cut him. Kenneth Gainwell is a dude. The Boston kid is a dude. It's the only position. Actually, you guys are pretty right. You're pretty mediocre at positions you guys don't give a shit about. Running back, linebacker, and safety. We'll see what the draft brought us. But that's yet to be determined too. That's yet to be determined too. Okay? Because they can't draft a safety to save their life. They can't draft corners and they can't draft linebackers, which they never have. For that matter, important edge rushers. Everybody's a free agent. I still think Howie's going to make some moves come June 1 when it comes to the linebacker position. Probably some trades. They need some more experience at the linebacking position. Okay? They need linebackers. We'll see what the kid Brown brings. I've got great faith that I think he could be a starter. Kenyatta says you're 100% right about these two quarterbacks kicking our butts on a regular basis. Absolutely. Dak's 8-3, 7-1 in the last 8, and Mahomes is 2-0 against them. Yeah, but Jalen's outplayed him. It didn't matter. He wins. Oh, you're going to throw, oh, I see. So you're going to throw me the Kirk Cousins stats. He's got better stats again. Not really even, too. Because you also have Andy Reid in the room there in Kansas City. And your so-called greatest play caller in the NFL last year. I disagree with John McMullen about that 100%. RPO is not a quarterback. Or it's not an offensive That's not an offensive coordinator making calls. Offensive coordinators don't make that call. The decision-making on the field takes away the progression reading. He's got decisions to make. Keep it, run it, throw it. Where's the play call in that? It's on Jalen. Shane Steichen had no bearing on that. That's why Hurts is making that money. See, you're not going to see the drop-off with Steichen going to Indianapolis that you saw with Reich going to Indianapolis when he left Philly. That you did with Wentz. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that drop-off like that. Because the actual play caller is the quarterback in the decision-making in the RPO. Like I said, think about it. When Hurts is at the line of scrimmage, say you have a play called in your head, and it's a play to throw the ball, and it's an RPO. Jalen hikes it, sees the guy in the corner, decides to keep it instead of throwing it, and he runs. Who made the play call? Coordinator or the quarterback? The quarterback made the call. Or made the decision. Made the decision. For real, Sills, please use that same energy this fall when Jalen just wins. Don't throw stats at the Bird fans. I didn't last year. Jalen Hurts, his passing numbers are pedestrian compared to the other guys who are passers in the league. But see, he's a unique talent. I said this to you. Nobody in the NFL runs the RPO system better than Jalen Hurts. Nobody. And that includes the guy in Baltimore. But if you're dissecting and breaking down situations when you're talking to me about a thrower versus another thrower, he's not Justin Herbert. He'll never be. He's not Josh Allen. He'll never be. But could he win more? Of course. The comparison is Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is a better thrower. He's a better talent. Who's the better quarterback? Who's the guy you want to have win a game? Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady? Doesn't matter. Peyton Manning couldn't jump over a stack of quarters. But who would you want in a game that mattered? Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers? Common sense. Common sense. Dank goes, Jalen's stats are very similar to Josh Allen. Yeah, so was his winning. He won 14 games too. By the way, he's not, stop it, Dank. And I'm not going down that road. Dank, Jalen Hurts does not throw the ball like Josh Allen. The only people in the planet who think that are the people in Philly. If you lined up 32, watch this, Dank. If you lined up 32 or 31 general managers, who would you take? Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts? 31 of them would go with the guy in Buffalo. Facts. If you lined up 30, maybe 2 GMs, they would take the guy in Cincinnati. Again, he's a unique talent. Leave it there. Leave it there. And by the way, one more time, that guy's got more to prove than Jalen Hurts this year. He's got to be way less reckless. Cost his team home field last year. Okay? Cost his team home field with that stupid fumble against Minnesota. Jalen's not reckless with the ball. Brady wasn't reckless. He didn't throw. You know the similarities between, it's funny, there's a lot of similarities between Brady and Jalen. You know what they both don't do? Throw high percentage turnover plays. They don't run high percentage turnover plays. Look at Brady's numbers last year. You guys say he sucked. I think he had nine picks, 800 attempts almost. Twice as many attempts as Jalen. Brady doesn't turn the ball over. That's what kills games. Turning the ball over. Colin, I'll never kill Jalen for the fumble in the Super Bowl. Okay? Of course Buffalo plays a tougher schedule. They're in the AFC. You're not taking, hey, by the way, this is why I say, yeah, Jameson, we're going to find out in 2023, you're actually playing people that you can't beat usually, which are great quarterbacks. Last year, you took on a village of idiots at the quarterback position. A village. This year, you're taking on the elite guys. Why? You're playing against the best teams in the NFL because you have the toughest schedule. 2023 is going to define and validate that contract or not. Well, we're going to find out a lot. I don't think we should compare Jalen to any other. No, you're right, Weapon. He's a one of. And I love the other part of that until he's done it more consistently. 1 year, exactly. He's done it one season. One season only. One season only. I'd pump the brakes a bit. Dude, like I said yesterday or on Friday, if Jalen Hurts goes 12-5 with the schedule, he's playing a top-ranked schedule in the NFL, and he's beating these elite guys, it'll do more for his perception on how the league. I'm going to make a point to you. I'm going to make a point to you about the 2023 season and Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. If Jalen Hurts beats those elite quarterbacks, gets back to the Super Bowl, and wins it, he'll be the face of the league. He'll be the face of the league. Because there's nobody that you could. And I could see him taking on Burrow in the Super Bowl. Burrow and Mahomes. Well, he's going to take on Mahomes in the regular season at Arrowhead. This season's going to be a defining point in him. On how people look at him, not just in Philly, but around the league, going against Allen, going against the Jets. By the way, the NFL thinks the Eagles are cool, but started you out on the road against Belichick. They have more respect for Belichick than for Jalen and the Eagles, and they won the freaking NFC. The NFL and Park Avenue have more respect for the Jets than the Eagles. You know why? It underscores the quarterback and the importance. Look at that schedule. Look at the NFL schedule, and you tell me. All the primetime premium games all have the elite guys in it. If you don't have an elite dude on your team, NFL doesn't give a shit what your record is. You see, the Cowboys sell themselves. NFL looks at the Cowboys. Dude, seriously, Quincy Carter could be the starting quarterback in Dallas, and no one would give a shit. If Quincy Carter's the starting quarterback in Philly or Nate Peterman, because you guys had a look at him that one game, I mean, no one's gonna care. Jalen will be so defined. And by the way, the thing we started to show out with all the stuff with Morant and Jalen Carter and his character, his story, all of that, the money, man, it's a shining moment for him and his dude. Jalen Hurts' 2023 year will be the most significant year in his professional and his amateur football career because he's got the money. He's got the admiration. Now he has to do something that Joel Embiid can't do. Deliver. And just showing up to the Super Bowl and putting your name on the test, that doesn't count. No one gives a shit about second place in this country. That's for places like Iran, Iraq, Canada, Russia, Japan, China. Not in America. Nobody gives a shit about number 2. Nobody cares. We root for champions in this country. Hey, man, I'll tell you what, we really had a great showing. Great showing? Hey, here's your commemorative I don't give a shit medal. You know where it goes? In the commode. Nobody cares about that. Well, Jalen got, and by the way, do me a favor. Eagle fans, stop bringing up you got to the Super Bowl and you got beat. That's not an endorsement. That's not an endorsement for Hurts. Well, Jalen got him to a Super Bowl. So did Trent Dilfer, Jimmy Garoppolo, the greatest substitute teacher of all time, Nick Foles. Stop that. Well, we got there. Okay. Great. I got to Mount Everest. I see the summit, but I fell off the mountain. Yeah, but you got to give me credit for at least getting to the summit. That's not how it works. I mean, that's not how it works. You got to deliver. When you get that kind of money, you got to deliver. Nobody roots for number 2. You know, Sills, Eagles haters bringing up the bowl way more than Eagle fans. Really? Every time there's a conversation about Hurts being compared to the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFL, the first thing that is brought up by Eagle fan, well, we got to the Super Bowl. I doubt that, man. Because if you're putting statistics up and individual accomplishments, he's nowhere near Lamar Jackson yet. Lamar's a year older than him. That guy was a consensus MVP in the era of Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, Mahomes. He won that award when those guys were still playing and balling. Consensus. Only Manning in league history has a consensus MVP. Yeah, but he didn't get to the Super Bowl. I know. Yeah, I know. Someone goes like this, so will they win it this year? I don't think you have the depth, but I think Howie will rectify it. Dude, there's one thing that I have learned about your Eagles and about your GM. They're getting better drafting players. 17 of the 22 starters that you have on your team now over recent years have been drafted, which is a remarkable number. You know, since 2000, you don't have the greatest draft record, but it's improved a lot. My question, and I don't really have a question on this, because I think Howie's still going to put people on that 90-man roster. I don't think that thing is solidified yet. I think your depth level in your O-line's a little suspect. I think you need a little more in your DTs. You clearly need work at linebacker still. And you're inexperienced in the safety position, which I think Howie will address June 1. But I do think, again, this time last year, you know what I was saying? Xander's with me now. You know what I was saying last year, this time? I think the Eagles have the deepest roster in the league. I think they have the deepest roster in the league. I think San Francisco does right now. Okay? But remember something, what I was saying also about the Eagles. We didn't know how good Jalen was going to play. Shit, man. They went out and got 2 first-rounders. For what reason? To draft a quarterback this year. That's what they got the 2 ones for. They weren't even sure. Well, now they are. Obviously, the money speaks to their commitment. San Francisco's in the same position that Philadelphia was last year. The only question is that they don't have a guy They kind of have a guy at quarterback. They kind of have a guy. One's hurt, and the other one sucks. I think he sucks. Okay? Trey Lance may turn out to be the next Cam Newton. But on May 15th right now, I mean, this guy right now looks like a Fig Newton, not Cam Newton. Joel Embiid, Lamar Jackson. I don't know what that means. Lamar Jackson's actually a great ball player. Joel Embiid is Casper the Ghost. Casper the Ghost. Big games, he turns into Kirk Cousins. He's the NBA version of Kirk Cousins. Big games, don't have Embiid show up because he won't. Because he won't. Yeah, Seals, but did you see how well he played this year? Great. What do we need to fix with special teams? Matt Araiza. Bring a field-changing player in. Matt Araiza could change your special teams with one kick. You have a 3-and-out on your own 10, and he puts it inside the 5-yard line on the opposing team's 5. Is that a weapon? I think so. Oh, but again, remember, there's a lot of snowflakes in Philly. You know, this guy was accused. I know, accused. I know. I got it. Do your homework, guy. You ever hear of it? Stop pretending you're a journalist because you want to be an opinionist like me. I get it. That's when journalists lose their stripes with me, is when they pretend that they're journalists and then they start doing shit like that. Well, I don't feel you're sorry enough, Jalen Carter. Oh, what are you, Dr. Phil? Yeah, you guys got a bunch of Dr. Phils that do press conferences with the Eagles and Sixers. Then they turn around and call themselves journalists. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have no respect for people like that. None. None. You're a journalist or you're not. Very few are. Snowflakes. Matt Araiza. You know, I was listening to his attorney over the weekend, and they're putting a class action suit against San Diego State for ruining his reputation. And do you know San Diego State University wants to settle with him? He may not have to try to get a tryout again. University's going to settle with him. That kid's going to make some money, man. They're going to settle with him. His attorney goes like this. They've offered us a settlement, but we haven't taken it yet. But hey, he's like this, you know. We're lining them up right now. That's why I'm telling you, always be careful what you say, man. Xander's already had a conversation with me. You see, I got to make sure I put all my phrases right. And, you know, I took a couple English classes, so I'm learning how to write phrases now. I'm good. Yeah. Hey, Gary Cobb will join us at 4:30. We will talk with our friend from Fox 29 in Philadelphia, and also Rick Barry, man. He's going to light Doc Rivers on fire. I know he is. In hour number 3, I have another topic. Dude, I got a ton of topics here. Got a fun topic here. Also, something else. I'm going to give you my predictions on all 32 teams on what their records are going to be in 2023. I did all 32. I looked at after the draft, after free agency. I'm going to do that. Please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.